Welcome, listeners. Well, again, we have Coach Tracy, and I'm so excited to chat with Tracy today because we're kind of excited. Tracy and I, my life coach, who made me a life coach, this woman here, this beautiful being in front of you, we are doing a workshop for women going through divorce, or even if they've been divorced already. And we think that it is just going to be amazing to have an attorney turned mediator and a life coach together presenting you with skills. And we're going to talk about 7 dilemmas that my clients face. A lot of my clients face these dilemmas. And then we're going to have some legal information. And then that's going to be kind of hooked in with taking control of your mind and self-coaching. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that on this call today. So Tracy, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this workshop is going to be phenomenal because it's really the 1-2 punch that women who are thinking about divorce, and struggling, grappling with that idea, maybe they're currently going through a divorce or they've been divorced. There are so many sabotaging thoughts that hold them back from living their best life. And I think some of the confusion, like to your point, it's the legalities. This is not an everyday occurrence of getting a divorce. So it's not uncommon that you would be feeling confused when it comes to that. But that confusion can really spiral into a lot of self-doubt, a lot of feelings that around feeling out of control. So we want to come in and really offer some clarity around how to think about divorce. And I love the fact that you've come up with the 7 primary dilemmas so that we can really just start checking those things off and helping your clients really think differently, think and feel differently.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be in person and to be in community. And it's not really going to be a pity party. It's going to be uplifting. We kind of want it to feel a little like a retreat and just a time for you to come in and relax with other women who are going through what you're going through and learn, because I have learned to suffer less. And that's what I want for all of my listeners. So we're going to give you a little sneak peek. So there's a whole array of women that this is for. There's all kinds of different stories. And one story, one of a big dilemma that my clients face is the financial insecurity. So you may be someone who's been married for years and you've been taking care of the home and the kiddos, and you're totally out in left field about finances. Okay. So that's a huge issue. Even for my gray divorcing women who just really haven't been involved. And that's normal. When you're in a committed relationship, in general, one person takes on a role of taking care of certain things. And so that's okay. But we want to help you get your mind right. And Tracy's going to help you kind of get your mind right. And I have tools. I've been so fortunate through this podcast to have so many experts give me tools that can help you. And so I'm going to give you action items, and Tracy's going to kind of help us with our mind. So, and I think finances in general for women can be really, really tricky. And I can tell you, hey, the first thing to do is to come to grips with where you are and what you've got. Tracy's going to help you make money your best friend, help you feel better. She'll help you decide how you want to feel about it. I don't know if you want to speak about that a little bit, Trace.
Yeah. So the framework that we use, regardless of what the topic is, but we're going to use going through a divorce, and specifically the financial obstacles around divorce, as our, application. So I teach people to really learn how to trust themselves. What does it look like when you have yourself to lean on? And we use the self, SELF, as an acronym so that it's really easy for you to continue to take the next step. So if you start with a decision, that is in regards to the, your financial goals, either pre or during or post divorce. Like, decide, what does financial independence look like for you? Most people skip that step. They don't make a decision because they're afraid. So knowing that that is the springboard into feeling control and confidence, you have to start with a decision. What is it
Yep.
that you want and why do you want it? So that's the very first step. And the cool thing is that having Lesa and I alongside of one another, I can give you kind of the steps that are critically important to navigating this situation. And Lesa, with all of her expertise, is going to be able to provide examples. So for those of you who are like, I don't even know how to answer that question,
Right.
we're going to have lots of examples for you to choose from and to find what feels good.
Absolutely. And actions to follow when they're, so this is the thing that I love is Tracy is going to get you to use that prodigy brain. You are going to be able to learn how to get yourself in that flow state, which is going to help you as you go through all these dilemmas that surround divorce. And there's a lot of them. And so I talked about finances. Another one that we're going to touch on is parenting concerns. So many of my clients who come to me are so terrified. They are just like, they can't even move. They're paralyzed because they're afraid for their children. They're afraid what this divorce is going to do to their kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in and I'm going to give you information about statistics that are going to make you feel a little bit better, that even if you are the only functioning parent, you are going to have a huge influence on your kiddos, and you are going to be able to parent well, and they are going to learn and be resilient. I'm going to help you with those little things. Tracy's going to help your mindset so they're not suffering through it.
Yeah. So, like, I gave you the self acronym, and the starting with the decision is so critically important so that you can get to the next step, which is eliminating the self sabotage. If you don't have the awareness, if you can't actually come up with the like limiting beliefs that you're reacting from, you're going to continue to do that. And that's what creates self sabotage. So, once you decide, let's say, what kind of parent you want to be post divorce, or what kind of ex spouse you want to be post divorce, now you have to understand, like, what are the narratives that are like well driven neural pathways that you've always heard that you've reacted from. Like, they're very fear based. And so once we heighten your awareness, you become way more aware and way less likely of being sabotaged from what it is that you really want. So it's that 1-2 punch of really understanding what are the critical steps, what is the order that I should be taking these steps, and like, help me start, like, what is it, what are my options? A lot of people don't even know what it is that they want. They only know what they don't want, and
Right.
that's important for us to pull out of them so that we can start that conversation.
Well, and this is a good time. So here's another dilemma, is the emotional impact.
Yeah.
And I have a lot to share from some experts. I had a psychiatrist on who talked about 5 key things we can do. Again, I'm talking actions, but I want to share too. And I know she's taught me everything I know, but this is where I also think we really look at self-coaching and sitting with your feelings wheel, sitting with your feelings and digging into them, teaching the people at the workshop how to really feel them. Because Coach Tracy, you told me that anything in the dark can't heal. So when we try to fight those feelings or pretend we don't have them or ignore them, they're in the dark. When we go, Well, hello there, fear
Yeah.
or anxiety or whatever you are. It comes to the light. And that's the first step in being able to do this. So I think that is probably one of the most important things that I've learned how to do with Tracy is to look at those feelings and they don't have a hold on me. So Tracy will walk us through that a little more.
Yep.
I'll give us
I'll
action steps.
Tell me all about the actions and I'll keep
Yes.
bringing them back to their mind. Yeah, when
Yes.
you're operating from your prodigy brain, you're way more likely to be able to like look through the lens or find the perspective around gifts and opportunities. So you might not be able to see it now that there's a gift and an opportunity waiting to be found within
Mhm.
this topic, within, becoming a divorced person or thinking about the potential of divorce. Like you can't see it because the fear has hijacked you, but we can get you to the place where you're really going to be able to leverage, empathy, discovery, innovation, and really start to see some of the key factors that might turn into gifts and opportunities.
I love
That's
yeah.
the L of the self acronym, is really leveraging those prodigy brain strengths.
Yep, yep. And what I love is we're going to kind of teach you some skills on how to look at your past and see the gains that you've made. And it just has made all the difference in my life. So, okay. So then another one, and this one isn't as common, but it is for a lot of my clients, is the social stigma or the judgment surrounding divorce. It's getting better. It's not such a big deal anymore, but it's still there. And a lot of my clients deal with this. And so really digging in emotionally and, helping them decide how they want to feel is going to be helpful.
Yeah.
And I have some insights about things like how do you share your getting divorced with your family and your friends? I have beautiful clients who are terrified because they're close to the in-laws and there's never been divorce in their family. And they want to know, how do we tell them? And I've got some really good tools to help you there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, when you find yourself like kind of swimming in judgment, you have to decide to prioritize your well-being over societal opinions and stigma. You have to challenge the stigma by refusing to internalize those judgments. You have to be able to separate the fact from the fiction of how society views divorce. Like
Mhm.
leveraging empathy for yourself, really starting to connect with other people who maybe have had similar experiences. Start reaching out to people who are going to uplift you and
Yeah.
validate this journey. And do what you need to do. Like take those simple next steps that create more of a supportive environment that really fosters growth and self acceptance. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of work to be done, and it's simple, but you have to know about it in regards to social stigma and judgment.
Yeah. And the thing that I love is that we will be creating this community of women who can be supportive. So you're going to have that little piece of it in the workshop too. So, and then the next two dilemmas, Tracy, I mean, you always are going to be a part of it. But when we talk about the legal complexities, that's where I'm going to come in. And I'm really I can go deep and, explain the laws. I can give you legal information. I never give legal advice because I am not working as your attorney, but I want to give you legal information about divorce, about splitting assets, about spousal maintenance, child support, all the things that you're going to be asking, which kind of leads to the next dilemma. And it's about housing. And I think of that as a legal complexity kind of now too, because in the age we are living with those high mortgage rates, this is a huge dilemma for my clients. And I have really detailed information on options that you have and loan people that are free resources that you can connect with, and I'm going to be sharing all of that. The last one that I really want to address because I just think it's huge in divorce is loneliness. And I know that I've got an upcoming podcast that's going to talk all about loneliness with the therapist. But Tracy, and therapy and coaching kind of go hand in hand. They're a little bit different. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, but coaching is making decisions and looking ahead. And therapy is kind of looking back. Is that true?
It can be, yeah. And I think maybe a better distinguishing factor is if, loneliness is getting in the way of you being able to get through your day, then therapy is definitely the path that you want to pursue.
Mhm.
If it's just something that you're starting to recognize but you're still able to get through your day, you're still able to manage your day, then coaching is probably the right path for you to take. So we're going to be able to really help you distinguish between the two, because divorce can be a trigger for people to like really start to feel lonely and really allow it to affect their life in a negative way. And so you want to be aware of what the potential um what's the word I'm looking for? Like the effects, the awful effects of what loneliness
Right.
can turn into. So the consequences.
Thank you.
So we want to be really proactive about that. That might not be something that you're experiencing right now, but we want to help you like start to hear those narratives that when you are really spinning out in the self-doubt and in the judgment, or maybe even from a people-pleasing standpoint, you can see how quickly it can turn into a debilitating loneliness that can have net negative effects. And so we want to proactively go after that.
Yeah. Amen. And okay, so those are the 7 dilemmas. We've gone through them all. We did it pretty quickly, and we'll be talking about it more up until the date, which is April 25th from 9 to 1. You can sign up at lisakoski.com, and we'd be happy to have you. We would love to have you sign up. And there is a cap. So, we can't have everyone. If there are a lot of people in an overflow, we may extend it. Right now, it's from 9 to 1, but we may make it a little longer. It's going to be in Woodbury, Minnesota at my office. We're talking about starting some in my barn, but not yet. That's to come. But I feel so grateful for this opportunity, Tracy, because what I'm in this position where I have all these beautiful women that are suffering. And I have had the opportunity to learn how to suffer less. And I just feel like what a greater platform than, a divorce podcast to be able to talk about suffering less. And I really, really, really want this to divorce to be an opportunity. I want this to be an opportunity for you so that going forward, you are not going to ever go through it again. You're going to work on yourself. You're going to be prepared. And I'm going to share, I have information about love after divorce and even some information about dating that I forgot to mention that can be really helpful for you as you move forward, even though it's hard to think about sometimes, when you're in the throes of it. But I just feel so blessed to be working with Tracy, who has changed my life and help me suffer less. So, Tracy, put in a little plug for Self Made You, because there might be some people that want to check that out too before.
Yeah. So if you are interested in this self framework, it's really the mission is to create self trust, no matter what it is that you're going through in life. But especially during divorce, you want to be able to trust yourself. You want to be able to navigate with confidence and a feeling of self control. And that's what we teach. So we teach the framework, but we really have kind of an applied learning environment. So we teach it very specifically on some of life's biggest curveballs, like divorce, like health and wellness, like,
Right.
weight loss or over drinking or relationships. So come check us out. We have lots of opportunities for you to kind of take a test drive. But I do think that you're really getting kind of the 1-2 punch through this workshop. So we're super excited to be able to meet you and really support you in this journey.
Yep. Amen. And I have to just add this one more little piece. I feel like it doesn't matter which program you enter into Self-Made through, because listeners, I came through Self-Made Mind and Body, where I was like, I want to drop a few pounds. And what ended up happening, interestingly enough, is that I got healthier and my mind started being a little more loving to me. And lo and behold, the thinking that I was using, the process that I was using, helped me in all the areas of my life. It helped me in my business and my personal. So that's the thing that I love about Self-Made You, is if you feel like, well, maybe I want to just get a little bit healthier, you can jump in there and it's going to help you help your mind through the divorce process. That's what's so amazing about it.
Yeah, and we have a free masterclass specifically for weight loss on December 29th, and it's the Stop Overeating masterclass. So yeah, join us for that, totally free, and you're going to get a nice little taste of what it's like to really trust yourself.
Well, and Trace, I'm thinking that this might air after that date. Is it going to be live for people, or on a video that they can see on your website?
Yes, they'll probably have access to a recording, but there will be other master classes like
Okay.
quick on its heels. So yeah, just join one of our free master classes.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Thanks so much for being here, Tracy.
Yep, you bet. Thanks for having me.